Now, everyone's running journey is more trail than track. Now, the track is flat, it's easy to navigate, and there's no obstacles. You just run. But that's not life. On the trail, you have routes to dodge, elevation, tight turns, technical downhills, mud, and the worst bit for some, you have to navigate yourself. In this video, I will share how I intend to go from inactive, unmotivated, and ill-disciplined to a regular runner, ready to take on even the toughest ultramarathon. Like this one, the For Rangers Ultra by Beyond the Ultimate. Now, I attempted this race in 2019, but it didn't go as planned. Earlier that year, I hurt my ankle playing rugby, and it just wouldn't seem to heal for months. I tried to keep training with occasional runs, but I thought my chance of completing the race was off the cards completely. Finally, I went for an X-ray, only to find out that my ankle was in fact fractured. Luckily, it was a clean break, and it was knitting together well, but I needed complete rest for it to fully recover. Anyway, 6 weeks out from the race, I finally managed to string a few consistent training runs together, and I thought, screw it, I'll just head out and if nothing else, just take it easy and take in all the sights. Now, as the race started, I suddenly found myself in the top 10, and that caused me to push hard, much harder than my fitness levels and my conditioning. I wasn't acclimatised to the heat or the elevation, and it really took its toll. On day 2, I managed to survive, but by day 3, I was just running on empty, and eventually I collapsed. I passed out and had to be helicoptered out to safety. Now, since that race, I've had some highs. I finished 5th in the Ice Ultra, also by Beyond the Ultimate. I finished 2nd overall in the brutal 300, a 300-mile race consisting of 1.1 mile laps around a park. But I also had some lows. In November, I took on the Desert Ultra, and on the way out, managed to pick up flu, and I felt absolutely rotten. It kicked every bit of fun and enjoyment out of running, and I swore after that race that I will never race again. But I always had this niggle, an itch to scratch. And 6 weeks ago, I finally decided to return to Kenya, albeit with a different mindset. My goal now is to savour every aspect of this run, from the incredible sights and sounds to the unforgettable wildlife. But there's one problem. I literally haven't done anything since November. I played touch rugby a handful of times, but other than that, I've enjoyed retirement. So I devised a plan to get myself into ultramarathon shape as quickly as possible, and here's how I did it. So this is going to boil down a lot to motivation and also determination. All that is well and good, but it's no point working really hard when you don't really know what you're working towards. So I started by establishing some goals, what I wanted to do. And I thought to myself, well, finishing sort of mid towards back of the pack is probably realistic for how I am right now and my history. You know, there is a rule that you get everything in your life you deserve. All right, mate? It's the hotel cat. Come to say hello. Now, the issue with goals is goals don't actually get you results. Goals very good for kind of guiding you where you need to go, but it's the daily actions that kind of get you results, you know, your daily routines. So having goals is great, but you really need to break it down into actionable steps. Something else regarding motivation as well. The days when I woke up and I thought, I can't really be bothered running or training today. Research has shown that what's more motivating is thinking about all the negative annotations of getting things wrong, of failing in your goal. Quite often we sort of think, oh, this picture in the medal at the end, you know, is the most motivating thing, but it's quite often not. And what proves this is, have you ever been in a race towards the front, and as soon as you start to get chased down by somebody, all of a sudden it's like, oh God, I've got to get moving, you know. It's incredibly motivating. Another thing that I didn't do is common misconception that by making like a public declaration as to what you're going to do and telling people about the race, that can be really, they can hold you accountable and all that, but in reality, again, what research has shown is that all the positive comments of people saying, oh, you'll smash it, you know, oh yeah, I've got all my trust in you and all that, it kind of allows you to take your eye off the ball, gives you this little hit of dopamine where it's like it reduces the motivating factor of it. So I kind of kept it to myself, you know, and I've not even shared it on this channel or anything like that until the last stages. So a couple of things I also wanted to work on with the big hitters. I haven't got time. You know, I haven't got time to put this mega elaborate plan together. So I needed to focus on the big hitters, that being nutrition. I needed to drop some weight. Now, right now, I have dropped about 4 kilos since I first started 6 weeks ago, which isn't I would certainly like to have been much lighter by now, but in reality, the truth is I've had 3 weddings, 2 stag do's, a 50th birthday party and a family camping weekend where it was just eating, drinking, and I do this stuff for fun. I do these races for fun. I'm not a pro. Actually, I'm a mediocre amateur at best, so I still need to live life. And so there's no way that I was going to kind of miss out on all that. Again, this is the choice that I've made. So besides dropping the little bits of weights, something else incredibly important is the long runs, just to get the distance in the legs and just get the body used to taking in and using that much oxygen again, and also give the mitochondria, the little engines in our muscles, a little reminder as to how to break down and use energy over and over for hours and hours on end. So I had lots of long runs, but also I needed to keep a bit of fun in there, because I stopped running because it felt like a chore, because I had some bad experiences, and without fun I don't think I'd have continued with it. So I kept a little bit of touch rugby right up until the sort of latter stages, maybe 3 or 4 weeks out, where I couldn't risk injury. And another thing was just overall recovery. As always, as you go through life, you pick up niggles and issues in your muscles and all that kind of stuff. So I had a pretty intensive sort of course of massage therapy, like some deep tissue massage, I had some imbalances in my legs, in my hamstrings, some tightness in my calves, and I've had the majority of that worked out. In some regards, it's been some of the worst parts of this training block, because it freaking hurt. It really does hurt. And the guy I go to, a guy called Tony, he does take it easy when need to, and he's very smart, and he explains what he's doing. It doesn't help when he scrapes his elbow down your IT band. So I did lots of rehab and recovery stuff as well. So what was the overall plan? Well, Mondays was confined to like touch rugby, because that's just the night that it was on, where I'd in effect do an hour of sprints, if you like, but it was fun, and almost those sprints were hidden. If I couldn't make it to touch, or it wasn't on or whatever, then I'd do some like interval training sessions. Tuesday would be a long run, like an hour plus. Wednesday, an interval session just to build up the heart and lungs, and also some leg strength, maybe a bit of hill work. Thursday would be tempo runs, where I'm maintaining the same speed but just changing the elevation and the incline and decline. Friday would be very much my recovery sort of massage day, and then I was usually a little bit sore on Saturday, so I'd take it easy and just do like a tempo run, like relatively short, maybe 4 miles, 5k, something like that. And then Sunday, a big long run, whether it's a couple of hours, 20 miles, whatever, just big long run, just to test the kit and to just create the adaptation in the body that you need when you're doing longer runs. So that was the kind of the first 3 weeks. Second 3 weeks was pretty much the same. The only thing I'd do is I stripped out one of those tempo runs and I added an extra long run. So basically, the closer you get to your event, the more specific your training need to be. And the ranges, yes, there is some elevation, there's lots of ups and downs and some short, sharp climbs and everything, but fundamentally you're running sort of marathon distance every day. Therefore, to be as specific as I could be, I needed to add an extra long run. So similar to what it was before, but I stripped out a tempo run and just added that extra long run. So how did it go? Well, like I said, 3 or 4 kilos down. So I'm definitely running better. I feel less clunky. I'm pretty happy with the progress so far. I'm here now in Kenya. I've come a couple of days early just to kind of clear my mind and kind of submerge myself in the environment. I'm staying in a little safari lodge. This is the Nairobi National Park behind me. So you've got this a herd of zebra and ostrich and buffalo and lots of impala and baboons and all sorts out there, which is just incredible, and it's one of the reasons why I'm here. And then the next few days will kind of tell, really. I start the race in a few days, and we'll see how we go. So, of course, I'll bring out a film, and you'll be able to watch that. So, win or lose, whatever happens, I'll create a film. And in the meantime, if you want something to watch, if you haven't watched the race that killed my running mojo in the first place, then check out my short film of the Desert Ultra now, and let me know what you think, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel to make sure that you get the follow-on film from this and any future events that I do. So until then, take care.